How to Earn a High Distinction by Thinking of a Perspective and a Computer Program by Lucian Green. Given the idea pedagogy is the study of teaching, how would you answer questions about it so that if you also examined enough ideas, you could earn a high distinction? According to my pedagogical theory, which is not the same as the idea we're examining, you should think of an original example of the idea from a perspective. We need to think of an original example for the idea from a perspective. So we turn to our colourful list of departments to brainstorm an idea based on each one of the list's items. Let's think about the idea pedagogy is the study of teaching. The key term is teaching, but what will we teach about? Let us take economics as an example. Economics includes the concept of buying, so let us pretend to buy an apple which we want to add value to at home by cutting up. This is related to pedagogy because we will teach how the apple is cut up. Think of a computer program description as an example of this perspective. We need to think of a computer program specification, or one which will take inputted symbols and return output through a number of transformations of these symbols. This is because our example needs to be high quality enough to deserve a high distinction. Our computer program will take a cube of apple and cut it in half length, depth, and height ways. 100% question. Write a codelet with at least 5 parts for this computer program. For 100%, we can optionally think of 5 aspects of this computer program, ideally in terms of code or with input and output for a function or predicate in our program. Try to visualize our cube of apple. If it were a box, we would usually cut the top off, then cut both halves into quarters. The program will be quite complex, so let's break it down into a single rectangular prism of apple being cut into thirds. Here is the finished program which cuts some pieces of apple and returns the others. Which pieces of apple will be joined together after pieces 1 and 2 are cut, before which we had the joined pieces 1 and 2 and 2 and 3. The program will return that the joined pieces are pieces 2 and 3. Which pieces of apple rels 3 will be joined together after pieces rels to cut are cut from the joined pieces rels 1. Among the relationships to cut, rels to cut takes the first pair to cut and leaves the others items for next time. Delete the first item to cut from the joined pieces rels 1, leaving the rest rels 4. Recursively call cut3 until all the joined items rels 4 that we wanted to cut have been cut with the rest of the cuts to make items, leaving the rest of the joined items rels 3. Stop cutting when the relationships to cut is the empty set, represented by the open and closed square brackets, and return the current list of joined items rels as the final list of joined items. You can think of 5 lines from a program like this to earn 100% if you think of enough of them. Then answer questions on reasonings, etc., called reasoning rules to deserve your high distinction. We are describing the 3 cubes of apple which the perspective and program were about. Reasonings. What is the x dimension of the object? X equals 0.03 meters. What is the y dimension of the object? Y equals 0.01 meters. What is the z dimension of the object? Z equals 0.01 meters. Reasoning. Does the subject touch the object? Yes. Lucian cuts the objects with a knife. Reasoning. What is the human judgment of the subject? Lucian is happy. What is the human judgment of the object? The apple is delicious. Reasoning. What is the human judgment of the verb? Lucian carefully cut a piece of apple. Space tests. What room is it set in? It is set in the kitchen. What part of the room is it set in? It is at the bench. What direction is the person facing? Lucian is facing south. Time tests. How much time does it take to prepare? It takes 2 minutes to cut the apple into the required shape. How much time does it take to do? It takes 10 seconds to cut the apple. How much time does it take to finish? It takes 15 minutes to eat the apple.